Welcome to Evan and Deb in the Evening, brought to you by Health, Wealth, and Wisdom, bringing you news and happenings from around the Bay Area and the medical, financial, and general wellness experts that help you live longer, stronger, and richer lives at any age. And now, from the Senior Voice America studios, here's Evan and Deb.
Are we living too long? 84-year-old poet and professor is with us right now, Norman Cliff. Norman, welcome to Evan and Deb. Do we have Norman?
Yes.
Oh, there you are, Norman. Okay. So, hey, now you're the author of The Last Rememberer and a number of other poems. Am I right?
Right.
So you pose an interesting question, and you talk about the hard truth about getting old, and maybe we're living too long. What's your thoughts there?
Well, could I read the poem? Because that probably sums it up better than anything else.
Okay.
We live too long. Our children's memories of childhood fade away. The ways we made and saved them less than dim. The friends who could recall our times of strength and beauty are not here. Or sight of current flab or floppy flesh obscures what pictures might remain. Our works have passed their time of relevance or mode. The ones who might recall them passed away from life, or have, like us, now passed away from active presence. We end as twisted, drooling frames tied up in wheelchair arms, or gaga pants forgetting health at home. Our death is slow as well, dragged out with tubes in every orifice but ears and needles here and there. We can but wink or shrug or smile when lovers visit us, but still we live. At least the medics say we do. At last the machines have done their worst and can no more sustain a fading glow. Perhaps some hand in mercy stills their throb. Or maybe it's just that medic gods decide that no more dollars can be wrung from us. How better was the 70 demise that gave a dignified departure from the life. The ones we'd left behind recalled us as we were, the works we'd done, events we'd shared. Our younger features still were seen behind the wrinkled face. We left memorials to our life that lived in those who could recall our beauty, strength, accomplishment, or worth.
That's a pretty heavy poem.
Well, yeah, I have 3 or 4 other, I'm an old man, so I have in my book 3 or 4 other views on death, some of which are a little more optimistic. But, you write what you feel, and that's the way I was feeling in the days I wrote that.
Well, actually, James Dean didn't say it, but that quote is attributed to him. What's it like? The live fast, die young, and leave a good-looking corpse. Now, obviously, you don't mean like, die very young, but you, being 84, I mean, you're watching friends, family members, passing on before you, and that in no way can that be easy.
Right. Yeah. If you ask any older person about living long, I think 90% of us anyway say, well, it's not how long you live, it's how long you have a good life.
Right.
And I'm very fortunate that I'm still doing pretty well. But as you say, you see the people drop by the wayside as you get to my age.
Right. Right, and you see record numbers of people suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, their cherished memories fading, and will ultimately be lost. And it's hard not only on them, but it's hard on their children, their grandchildren, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, and from your experience, how hard is it really to keep up with all these new technologies? At 84, you couldn't even imagine when you were kids what would be available today, right?
That's right. I got involved with computers not in a big way, but in a sort of medium way a long time ago. And there was computer revolution after computer revolution, and I have to say the last couple have just left me behind. I'm stuck back 2 or 3 2 or 3 steps ago.
Right. All right, stay with us. We're talking to poet Norman Cliff. It's Evan and Deb, 1250 Wins, WHNZ.
Is your house vacant, settling in a state, in probate, downsizing, or relocating? Well, whatever the reason, if you own an unwanted house and need to sell it quickly, the Sierra Group can help. They can pay all cash with no contingencies and close in just a few days for houses in any price range or condition. Call today, 800-309-0753, or find them on the web at 7dayscash.com. That's 800-309-0753. Stop waiting and get the relief you need.
Jazzercise is a girls' night out at 9 o'clock in the morning. What more could you ask for?
When I'm in class, I can just totally feed off people's energy and the instructor's energy.
Are you ready to go crazy? Come on.
You want to go every day. You want to hear what songs are going to play. You want to see which moves you're going to be doing.
I cannot live without Jazzercise.
Fun and effective workouts do exist. Get real results at Jazzercise. Visit jazzercise.com to learn more.
Sexy and I know it.
Ladies, are you having hot flashes that are interfering with your sleep and everyday activities? Are you afraid of being placed on synthetic hormone therapy? Hi, this is Dr. Kelly Miller of Miller Clinic for Optimal Health. At Miller Clinic for Optimal Health, we find the cause for your hot flashes and offer totally natural solutions. For your personal consultation, call 813-774-3744 or register online at drkellymiller.com to schedule your appointment today. That phone number is 813-774-3744.
The Nelson Riddle Orchestra's Sinatra Centennial Celebration returns to Ruth Eckerd Hall Tuesday, February 17th at 1 p.m. Enjoy Sinatra's worldwide classics, such as I've Got the World on a String, The Way You Look Tonight, and Summer Wind. Don't miss the Sinatra Centennial Celebration at Ruth Eckerd Hall, February 17th. For tickets, visit rutheckerdhall.com.
Do you suffer from varicose or spider veins, achy, painful legs, night cramps, restless legs, swelling in your ankles or feet, discoloration, or neuropathy? Premier Vein Institute can help. Insurance accepted, including Medicare and Medicaid. Call Premier Vein Institute at 727-466-4476. They have offices in St. Petersburg, Largo, Tampa, and Lakeland to serve you. That's 727-466-4476. Or go to premierveins.com. Relief is just a phone call away. 727-466-4476.
The National Cremation Society. Plan ahead. For all the right reasons. Simple, affordable, and the right thing to do. Call today to find out about their Everywhere plan and available discounts. Appointments available at their office located at 4945 East Bay Drive in Clearwater or in the comfort of your home. 727-536-0494. That's 727-536-0494. National Cremation Society, East Bay Drive in Clearwater. 727-536-0494.
All right, we're talking right now to poet and professor Norman Cliff. One of his poems is "The Last Remember." So, Norman, I mean, you obviously you've been through a lot at 84 years old. What do you see from people that I really, what bugs me more than anything is when someone looks at me and says, "I have no regrets." And I think, how can you live on this earth and really try to accomplish things and have no regrets? I mean, there's things you're going to have done as a child or an adult. You made some mistakes along the way. But as you're around a lot of people that are your age, how do they deal with the realizations that they will never attain certain lifelong dreams or goals?
Oh, boy. I think usually you just put it aside, become, for the most people, just become accepting of, that's as far as it goes.
Right. But do you see that it haunts some people? They can't really, come to grips with the fact that they didn't accomplish certain things they thought they should have?
Oh, yeah, sure. I think we all feel that if somebody pushes us and explores various parts of our life, we all feel that way about something or the other. I had a good degree of success in my professional life, but I was not a world beater, and I have regrets about what I could have done to make another step or two. Sure, everybody who has ambitions feels that.
Right.
I think even people who get all the way to what looks like the top, they think there's another top that they're not there yet.
Well, they regret getting old, right? They regret
right.
aging.
Yeah. Then there's the downhill slide for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, did your spouse pass away?
Oh yes, in 06. Thanks.
And so, I mean, people don't realize how hard that is always to watch a spouse that you love. Maybe a spouse that you don't love, it's not as big of a deal, but one that you love, deteriorate over time and then pass away.
Right. I have, I have written a few poems about this. Can I read one?
Sure. As long as it's not too long, go ahead.
No, it's pretty short.
Okay.
It's called Requiem. The night she goes on that last trip, I help her dress that final time that she will ever dress. Her back's familiarly long with even longer legs. The breast may droop, but just a bit. The ambulance is here. The final journey starts.
That was nice, short and sweet. But you're really, for some people, they go through it. But as a poet, you're really very introspective. You're really feeling so much of this, putting it into words. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. On the topic of decline, I could say something about that too. I don't want to be jumping in here with my poems all the time, but I think this one is relevant to what we were talking about, where you're gone as far as you're going to go, and now from now it's going to go downhill probably.
Right.
It's called The Shoulder of the Slope. I can see the shoulder of the slope down which we slide. My ride so far has mostly been a gentle one, although there was a gully where I lurched and fell, and thought there might not be an end to my descent. But ground I hit, though for a while could hardly draw a breath. I scrambled weakly out of it and slowly struggled on, until I caught my wind and got back on the gentle slide. But now there are these little hints that warn, a step that's missed, an oversight, a name that will not rise above the foggy muck, a spate of rage that cannot be restrained. We oldsters all agree it's better if abyssal space that flanks the shoulder's edge we fly, not some steep slope that shapes a tumbling fall into that spinning world bewilders dimming eyes. I can see the shoulder of the slope and fear what lies ahead. That's pretty gloomy, I know.
Yes, yeah. Now, but let me ask you this. We all talk, you hear people say this constantly. I'll never forget the time. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget that. But the truth is, as we get older, and we don't have to be 80, it happens to us in our 40s and our 50s, we forget certain, childhood memories or even memories from adulthood.
Oh, yeah.
And you talk about that a lot in your book, don't you?
Yes, I do. I talk. The title poem, The Last Rememberer, is a different aspect of that, which is that as we get older, there are, for many things, we are the last person that remembers them. And now I can't find it.
Right. So, but what advice would you give people as they age to remember, to give them the ability to remember things? Do you tell people keep a diary, write things down, take notes?
Yeah, that's good. Because then you have the notes that, and it's odd, that things you've forgotten, all of a sudden you remember something that you hadn't. Don't think you remembered before. There are things you can do, but I'm was a psychologist and had some acquaintance with data about aging, although that wasn't really my field.
Right.
And I think it's unfortunate, but the fundamental processes that are slowing down, you can't really do anything about that. You can help, which is not to say you can't learn new stuff, because you can. You know, I didn't start doing this till I was 75 or 6.
Right.
And there are other people that have had similar experiences. Or if you're interested in some field, you can learn more about that. Or some you can develop some. You can get to be a better tennis player, or if you work on it.
Well, now let me ask you this. I mean, you see other countries start to limit health care to certain individuals as they get older. You know, there's not much else we could do for you, they say. This is just the way it's going to be. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think, you know, it's a shame that here we are, probably still by a margin the richest country in the world, and we have, by the statistical measures, we're somewhere between 10th and 15th in healthcare.
Right.
That I don't, you know, it's sort of boggling that we can't do anything about that.
But is medical science helping certain people live too long?
Oh, you know, too long. Let me say it. Too long is always in the mind of the person, right?
Right.
And if people survive, for example, a stroke, I think that can be the most fearful one, and really don't have anything in their life anymore. But even some of those people, if they have their family around them and some activities they still like, a lot of those people are quite content. So I think, though, the people that end up particularly isolated, without family or activities that bring them out, as well as being very weakened and debilitated, those people, you might say,
right,
have been helped to live too long by medical science. I myself, I have to say, I've had 3 life-threatening experiences in my life, and I've survived all 3 of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, right? About poems.
Right. All right, let me let people know where to find you. Wordassociation.com/poetry. That's wordassociation.com/poetry. The book is called The Rememberer, and you can find it at Amazon. I want to thank you for joining us tonight, Norman. We got to roll.
Yeah, well, thanks for talking to me.
Okay, interesting stuff. Very interesting, Deb. So, all right, that's about it for us.
and whatever. And they've just got wild stuff because they pretty much expect her to be wild. She's not going to go to a traditional place and get a traditional dress. It's going to be something crazy.
Right.
You can almost
maybe
count
she'll
on
pop
it.
out
No
of an
date
egg.
set yet, but they did have champagne and everything with the family, so everybody's on board. And singer Leslie Gore, at 68 years old, lost her battle with cancer today. She's best known for her song "It's My Party." She recorded that in 1963 when she was just 16 years old. She's also recorded "She's a Fool," "It's Judy's Turn to Cry," "You Don't Own Me," just some of the
You
big
Don't Own Me
songs.
was a great song.
Yeah.
That was